Fortune Quest, owned by David Ehrenberg with Charlie Neff and 2. Cool Ambition, owned by Robert McCurdy and Craig Parker with David Miller. 3, Flaming Rocky, owned by Wilson Witten and Regina Willinger with Jeff Fout. 4, Raven Elmer, owned by Walter Kaplinger, Jeff Smith aboard. Number 5, Town Hill, owned by Joe Hill, Jack Daly in the bike. 6, FAYES, Sam Spade, owned by Nancy and William Myers with Mike Wilder. 7 is Noble Mountaineer, owned by Neil and Alvin Long and David Ogan Jr. Brad Hanners drives 8, Wakeshire Wish, owned by Roger Wheeler. Bob Harper will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's first race, no change. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Noble Mountaineer on the far outside takes the lead, followed by Raven Elmer between horses and Cool Ambition along the rail. Wakeshire Wish rolls up on the far outside. Toward the rail, Fortune Quest, FAYES, Sam Spade, wide and driving. After that, it's Flaming Rocky, and the trailer is Town Hill as they battle for position into the opening turn. Driving away on top, it's Noble Mountaineer, a length and a half. Raven Elmer with Cool Ambition, long mile for Wakeshire Wish. They open up here in a good 28 2/5. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Noble Mountaineer is out on top. Noble Mountaineer leads the way from Raven Elmer second, Cool Ambition third. Fortune Quest starts the action from mid-pack. Wakeshire Wish along the rail up on the outside. Town Hill, Flaming Rocky, and FAYES, Sam Spade around the clubhouse turn to the half-mile pole. Noble Mountaineer trying to make every pole winning one leads the way. Cool Ambition is on the attack second. Raven Elmer, the pocket sitter, in third. They're at the half in 59. Very well bunched as they straighten out for their long journey down the backstretch. Noble Mountaineer, Cool Ambition is on the attack second, followed by Raven Elmer in third. Fortune Quest on the outside. Town Hill far outside. Nearest the rail, Wakeshire Wish. FAYES, Sam Spade in close quarters, and at the end it's Flaming Rocky. Racing by 3/4 and here in 1:28 3. Moving around the far turn. Noble Mountaineer on top. Cool Ambition grinding on the outside second, followed by Raven Elmer in third as the field straightens away. Noble Mountaineer continues to show his heels to the field. Cool Ambition is up on the outside. Raven Elmer, the passing lane. Noble Mountaineer is proving best. Noble Mountaineer, Cool Ambition. Noble Mountaineer, and it's tight for second. The 2's up. Cool Ambition over 4, Raven Elmer. Comes the unofficial winner of the first. 7, Noble Mountaineer. 3-year-old bay colt by Noble Land Sam out of Allegheny Annie. Owned by Neil and Alvin Long and David Ogan Jr., trained by Alvin Long. Driven coast to coast tonight by Brad Hanners. To cover the mount, a lifetime best 159. 7, Noble Mountaineer, the winner of tonight's first race. Windows are now up and on tonight's second race on a field of 10. No changes. Post time up here in just a second. 7-2 exacta, $131.20. The try, 7:45:20. Post time is 7:57. Number 1 is Over and Away, owned by Iris and Harry Horowitz. Debbie Rucker drives. 2, Mr. Snowshoes, owned by Peter and Gail McCann with driver Jeff Fout. 3, Send the Message, owned by Marjorie Hahn, Francis Beard, Robin and Patricia Roll with Dan Ader. Number 4, You're in My Shadow, owned by Leonard Buckner and Tom Brinkerhoff, driven by Tom Brinkerhoff. Number 5, Over First, owned by Lloyd Yoder with Mike Wilder. 6 is SHIV, owned by Tom Blankenship and Ralph Sturd Jr. with David Miller. 7 is Spry Miss, owned by LMN Bread Stables with Mitchell Null. 8 is Gray Frost, owned by Walter Stammen with Brad Hanners. Number 9, Stormy Wiz, owned by the White Creek Stable with David Myers. Number 10, Bone Road, owned by Bill Ferris. Jeff Smith will be in the sulky. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. SPADE was off stride before the start. The 3 is now on a break. Send the message. They're down the backstretch. The 6 SHIV is on a break. The 6 is off stride. Moving for the quarter-mile pole on the far outside. Here comes Gray Frost to take the lead. Quickly on the rail, over and away second. Wide and driving. You're in my shadow on the far outside third. The 2 is now off stride. Mr. Snowshoes, as they are really scrambling here as they trot to the quarter-mile pole. Out on top, it's over and away for Debbie Rucker in a quick 28 4/5. Past the stands, Gray Frost in the second, followed by You're in My Shadow, a gapping third. From out of the second tier, Bone Road. After that, it's over first, away safely. Stormy Whiz to 6, back down trotting Civ and 7th. Mr. Snowshoes is 8th, send the message 9th. And SPADE, who is off stride at the start, is the well-back trailer. They're at the half-mile pole. Over and away, Gray Frost, the top 2. Gap of 6 to You're in My Shadow. Bone Road is up on the outside. Over first, may have to do that. Underway from the back, Stormy Whiz and SHIV, followed by Mr. Snowshoes. Big gap now to the trailers. Send the message and SPADE. They're at the half-mile pole in 59 1. They're down the backstretch. The 5 was off stride, over first. Still in command, it's over and away by an easy length and a half. On his heels in second, Gray Frost up on the outside. You're in My Shadow and Bone Road. SHIV on the outside and Stormy Whiz. Trotting by 3/4 in a solid 1:30 2. Around the far turn. Over and away continues to lead the way. Gray Frost in second. You're in My Shadow third. SHIV between horses fourth. Bone Road along the rail. Stormy Whiz up on the outside. Trotting through the stretch. Over and away continues to lead. Gray Frost not good enough. It's going to be over and away. Gray Frost, You're in My Shadow, and SHIV will finish fourth. Result of race 2 is now official. Here's the winner, number 1, Over and Away. 3-year-old Bay filly by Overcomer out of Swiss Crown, and in Brooklyn, New York by Iris and Harry Horowitz. Trained by Tim Rucker, driven wire-to-wire by Debbie Rucker. Covering them out here in 2:01 and 2 to establish a lifetime best. Number 1, Over and Away, the winner of tonight's second race. 1/8 exacta, $164.40. The try, 29.96.60. 7-1 daily double, 324.20. Windows are now up and on tonight's third race, field of 9, and no program changes. Post time will be at 8:16 for tonight's first of 2 superfectas. Here comes the field for tonight's third race. Superfecta and exacta wagering, no changes. Number 1, Jaguar Design, owned and driven by Danny Collins. Number 2, Domestic Violence, owned by Karen Bond, driven by Jack Daly. 3, Wildcat Will, owned by Jane Ferdinand with David Miller. 4, Sodbuster, owned by John Cooper. David Myers will be aboard. 5, MONT-ROYAL, owned by Dennis Poe and Claude Kirkpatrick with Ron Steck. 6, Special Spike, owned by Francis Hammond and Mary Bach with Keith Haynes. Number 7 is BEAU Hanover, owned by J. Pat Huber, Harold Breedenbach, and Kathy Montgomery with Dick Richardson Jr. Number 8 is Lakewater Bird, owned and driven by Eldon Spearman. And number 9 is Ricky's Flowin' Alley, owned by Mark and Ricky Williams. Brad Hanners will be in the sulky. Field for tonight's third race. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Wildcat Will takes the lead. Ricky's Flowin' Alley. Moving up on the far outside, middle of the racetrack, Domestic Violence. Along the rail, Jaguar Design fourth. BEAU Hanover on the outside, fifth. Special Spike, Sodbuster away safely, followed by MONT-ROYAL. And Lakewater Bird is the trailer as they scramble for the position on their way to the quarter-mile pole. Ricky's Flowin' Alley Domestic Violence up on the outside, and Wildcat Will on the rail. 29 seconds flat, racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Out on top, it's Ricky's Flow and Alley by a length. Wildcat Will second, Domestic Violence in third. Jaguar Design Obliged fourth, comes to the outside. Ranging up on the far outside, Beau Hanover, here comes Sodbuster. Special Spike stays in there seventh. Around the clubhouse turn, MONT-ROYAL is eighth and Lakewater Bird is ninth. They're at the half-mile pole. Ricky's Flow and Alley carves this one out in 59 3. Jaguar Design moves up on the outside, a closer second. Staying along the rail, Wildcat Will third. Here's Beau Hanover. Sodbuster picks up rivals quickly. Quickly dropping out of it, Domestic Violence. Little more than a quarter of a mile to pace. Ricky's Flow and Alley at his wheel disc in second. Jaguar Design. Wildcat Will doubled up, a midful for Dave Miller. Sodbuster flies on the far outside. 129 3. Driving around the far turn. Ricky's Flow and Alley. Sodbuster the most kick on the far outside. He's trying to get the jump on Wildcat Will, who looks for the passing lane. They're into the stretch. Ricky's Flow and Alley. Sodbuster on the outside, closing with a rush. Ricky's Flow and Alley. Sodbuster still attacking. Ricky's Flow and Alley. Sodbuster second. Wildcat Will third. Beau Hanover fourth. Bay Colt by Nobleland Sam out of Just Like Gifted. Owned by Mark and Ricky Williams of Reynoldsburg. Trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Driven tonight coast to coast by Brad Hanners. Covering that mile in 159 3 to establish a lifetime best. Number 9, Ricky's Flow and Alley, the winner of tonight's third race. Looks like we're waiting for some simulcast satellite money to come into the Ohio hub. We'll have the payoffs here in just the second. Result of the third is official. $9-4 exacta, $18 even. The try, make that the super effective, $498.80. $498.80. Comes the field for tonight's fourth race. Start of the early pick 3. No changes in tonight's pick 3. No changes on the program. 1 Morgan T. Owned by Magic Touch, Earl Ricks, and Loretta Crown, driven by Jack Daly. 2 is Winsome Duke, owned by Marlon Smith. Marlon drives. 3 is You Dreamer, owned by Nell Blue with Ryan Holton. 4, My Dad. Owned by Pamela Hanover. Mike Wilder will be aboard. Number 5, Go Robbie Go, owned by Inga Nemziski with David Miller. 6, Cinder Jig, owned and driven by Dan Eads. And number 7 is Win Lin, owned and driven by Terry Hall. Field for the fourth, 6 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Middle of the racetrack, My Dad takes the lead. Followed by Winsome Duke, and the late lever is Go Robbie Go, and Morgan T gets away in fourth. You Dreamer moves in to be fifth, followed by Cinder Jig between horses and Win Lin. As they make their way to the first turn. Driving away on top, it's My Dad by 2. Winsome Duke second, Go Robbie Go third, and the favorite Morgan T. As they move by the opening quarter in 29 3, racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Here comes Morgan T with a rush on the outside. Morgan T along the rail, My Dad heads apart for command. Winsome Duke drives up on the outside third, Go Robbie Go fourth. Around the clubhouse turn, You Dreamer in fifth, and Cinder Jig and Win Lane. They're at the half-mile pole. Morgan T, the even money favorite, shows his heels to the field. Morgan T on top there at the half in 59. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Morgan T bouncing along a length and a half, followed by My Dad, the Stalking Journey in second. Winsome Duke on the outside third. Go Robbie Go, skipping the pylons in fourth. You Dreamer is fifth. Cinder Jake sixth. Winlin seventh on the outside. Little bit of confusion in behind horses as 4, My Dad, and 2, Winsome Duke got tangled up. Racing by 3/4, Morgan T benefited, opens up a commanding lead in 1:28.3 around the far turn. Morgan T on top. Go Robbie Go drives up on the outside. My Dad along the rail, and You Dreamer as the field straightens away. Morgan T, Go Robbie Goes bearing down the middle of the racetrack. Go Robbie Go, charging at him. Go Robbie Go and Morgan T. Morgan T is going to hold. Here's the unofficial winner of tonight's fourth race, number 1, Morgan T. 3-year-old bay gelding by chairman of the board out of Discreet Charm. Owned by Magic Touch Incorporated, Earl Ricks and Loretta Crown, trained by Tony Ann Boroff-Hayner, given a well-judged drive by Jack Daly, covering the mile in 1:58.2. Number 1, Morgan T, the unofficial winner of the fourth. Here comes the field for tonight's fifth race. 25,000 in the twin trifecta carryover. Number 1 is Coming Success, owned by Dennis and Larry Shaner with Jeff Fout. 2, Dusty Gill, owned by Iris Horowitz with Debbie Rucker. 3, Speedy Wilma, owned by Rita Studzinski with Jack Daly. 4, Be Final, owned by Robert Stuckey with Carroll Smith aboard. Number 5 is Signed Original, owned by Harold McCain with Mike Wilder. 6, White Wall Crown, owned by Warren Holland with Jeff Smith. Number 7 is Independence, owned by Phyllis Dill with Brett Merkel. Number 8 is Roll Me Over, owned by Elisa Lowe, driven by James Gregg. Number 9, Pan Vestite, owned by Fred Merriman with Justin Hall. 10 is JR's Nephew, owned by Vando Beatty and Donald High. David Miller will be in the sulky. Post time in less than 5 minutes. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and trotting. Speedy Wilma takes the lead. Middle of the racetrack, White Wall Crown. Toward the rail, Coming Success. Signed Original is on the move on the outside. Fourth, next in line comes Be Final. Out of the second tier, JR's Nephew. Parked on the outside, Independence. They make their way to the first turn. Here comes Dusty Gill after that. Roll Me Over and Pan's Vestite as they trot by the opening quarter in a good 29 seconds flat, racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Out on top, it's White Wall Crown who leads the way. White Wall Crown on top, Signed Original, parked every step in second. Speedy Wilma, 25 the one shot, skims the pylons in third. Coming Success fourth, Be Final in fifth. JR's Nephew comes to the outside. Underway, Dusty Gill. Independence, Pan's Vestite drags up on the outside. 10th on the rail, Roll Me Over there at the half-mile pole in a sharp 58 seconds flat. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Bouncing right along its White Wall Crown by 2.5. Signed Original is in the second, Speedy Wilma third. Coming Success tips and rolls, set sail from the rail. After that, Be Final, Dusty Gill picks up rivals on the outside. JR's Nephew is seventh. Pan's Vestite is 8th. Independence is 9th. Riding the tailgate, Roll Me Over there at 3/4 in 1:28.3. Trotting around the far turn. White Wall Crown by a length. Steadily coming to the outside. Coming Success in the second, followed by Signed Original in the third. Sweeping up on the outside, Dusty Gill. They're into the stretch. From between horses, Coming Success now gets the lead. Coming Success. Signed Original, White Wall Crown is trying to fight back. Here comes B Final, but it's Coming Success. Signed Original and White Wall Crown third. Result of race 5 is now official. Here's the winner, Coming Success. 4-year-old bay mare by Overcomer out of Lady B Successful. Owned by Dennis and Larry Shaner of Wapakoneta and Harrod, Ohio. Trained by Dan Wiseman. Given a clever drive tonight by Jeff Fout. Covering that mile in 2 minutes and 1/5 to establish a lifetime best. Number 1, Coming Success, the winner. The 1-5 exacta, $38 even. 1-5-6, $1 twin trifecta first half payoff, $35.90. Windows are now open on tonight's 6th race. Post time in 13 minutes at 9:15. Here's the field for tonight's 6th race. Winner number 1 is Delusion of Grandeur, owned by Gerald, Diana, and Jeff Cimini and Robert Salzberger. Driven by Terry Thomas. 2, Come On Tiger, owned by Suzanne Norflus and Jerry Summers with Dan Ader. 3, Eat at Sammy's, owned by Richard Slaughter and Mike Wilder. Number 4, Truthful Doug, owned by Ray Curtis and Charles Mitchell with Scott Mogan. Number 5, Fritzy Scooter, owned by Bill Fritz and Gerald McHenry with Jeff Smith. Number 6, Name Your Poison, owned by Bruce and Trish Soulsby with Jeff Fout. Number 6, Harley Highlight, owned by Carson Howler, being driven tonight by Brad Hanners. Number 8 is Elmerhurst Bozo, owned by Constance Morgan, Roland Rue, and Larry Lewis with David Miller. Number 9, HEZ-BEN-BAD, owned by Rhonda Stidham, Linda May with Rocky Stidham. 10, Payne Road Scooter, owned by Mary Dillon. Jack Daly will be in the sulky. Field for the 6th, 5 minutes till post. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Name Your Poison leaves tonight. Rushing up on the far outside, Harley Highlight to 2nd. Closing between horses, Come On Tiger 3rd. Delusion of Grandeur is 4th. From out of the 2nd tier, Payne Road Scooter in the 5th as they make their way to the turn. Eat at Sammy's and Truthful Doug up on the outside. Fritzy Scooter in the gray. Elmerhurst Bozo and HEZ-BEN-BAD. Being parked and driving and out, jumping off straight on the outside. Name Your Poison by the opening quarter in 27-4. Speeding past the stands to the half-mile pole. Out on top, it's Come On Tiger by an easy length and a half. Harley Highlight is 2nd, followed by Delusion of Grandeur in 3rd. Payne Road Scooter 4th. Eat at Sammy's quickly back down, pacing and getting back in the flow. Name Your Poison. Nearest the rail, Truthful Doug is in the 7th. Fritzy Scooter 4th over in 8th. Racing 9th, Elmerhurst Bozo off straight at the back of the pack. HEZ-BEN-BAD. And they're at the half-mile pole in a moderate 58-1. They're out of the turn and down the back stretch. 9R hub to hub. By a half a length, it's Come On Tiger. Payne Road Scooter alongside in 2nd. Followed by Harley Highlight in 3rd. Ranging up on the outside, Eat at Sammy's 4th. Name Your Poison ready to come. 3 wide off cover. Further out, Fritzy Scooter. In along the rail, Delusion of Grandeur. Elmerhurst Bozo wide and driving. Truthful Doug. And HEZ-BEN-BAD in 127-2. Wide open here as they move to the head of the stretch. Come On Tiger brings them on home. Come On Tiger by a length and a half. Cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Here comes the Harley-Davidson horse racing through the stretch. It's Come On Tiger, Harley Highlight, Delusion of Grandeur. Fritzy Scooter's up on the far outside. Deep stretch. It's Come On Tiger in front. Fourth, here comes the winner of the 6th, Come On Tiger. 3-year-old bay colt by Log, got a Full of Folly, owned by Suzanne Norflus and Jerry Summers of Florida and Ohio. Ran and trained coast to coast by Dan Ader. Covering the mile here in 156-4. Number 2, Come On Tiger, the winner of tonight's 6th race. 2-7 exacta, $199.60. The early pick 3 on 1, 1, and 2, $82.40. Windows are now open on tonight's 7th race. Post time in 14 minutes at 9:34. The try, 14 1:59.20. Justin Hall will drive 5, NH Dunn in the 7th. Endure finished 3rd. Come On Tiger was the race winner. Field 4, race 7 is coming out onto the track. Second half of the twin try, exacting trifecta wagering. Number 1, Music City Jesse, owned by B.L. Conway, driven by Mark Evers. 2, Moving On Up, owned by Terry Kraft with Greg Luther. 3, Sando, owned by James Jacoby with David Miller. 4, Adorable Dawn, owned by Charlie Geiler and Letha Brooks with Sandy Beatty. Number 5 is NH Dunn, owned by Paul Johnson, and a late driver change to Justin Hall. 6, Gifted Debutante, owned by Jeff McCarty, David Lytle, and Henry Russell with Dan Ader. 7, Grimke, owned by Ruth Taylor with Steve Carter. 8 is Awful Nice, owned by Perry Lambert with Bob Harper. 9, BD Falcon, owned by Robert Palmer with Danny Collins. Number 10, Touch of Summer, owned and driven by Tom Lovely. Field for the 7th race, Justin Hall will drive 5, NH Dunn. Post time in 6 minutes. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. NH Dunn looks for the lead, and here comes Music City Jesse with a rush. Followed by Moving On Up and Sando. They're down the backstretch. Adorable Dawn, Gifted Debutante toward the rail, Touch of Summer. Followed by Grimke, Awful Nice, and BD Falcon. They're driving to the quarter-mile pole. NH Dunn drives on the outside in a tough first quarter. Music City Jesse moves in to be 2nd, Moving On Up 3rd. They open up here in a quick 28 2/5. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Music City Jesse completely starching NH Dunn. Followed by Moving On Up, the Golden Journey in 3rd. Sando closer in 4th. Gap of 4 to Adorable Dawn. The 10 can't go on, Touch of Summer. Gifted Debutante with a lot of work to do. Ranging up on the outside, Awful Nice. Grimke is now 9th. BD Falcon flying high from the back of the pack in 56 4. Look for the closers now as they straighten out down the backstretch. Music City Jesse on top. NH Dunn on the outside now gets the lead. NH Dunn, what a mile she's gone so far. NH Dunn goes on by Music City Jesse. Here's Moving On Up. Sando is up on the outside. She can't go on. Gifted Debutante circles her. Here's Awful Nice. Grimke is on the attack. Adorable Dawn on the extreme outside. BD Falcon and Touch of Summer. 1:27 2. Around the far turn. Gifted Debutante on the outside. NH Dunn along the rail. Moving On Up. The favorite's not going to get there. Sando, in fact, she's off stride. Racing through the stretch. Gifted Debutante. NH Dunn. Here's Awful Nice on the outside. Awful Nice on the extreme outside. NH Dunn coming back. Awful Nice in front. Looks like nobody had the twin try. We'll get the carryover here in just a second. In the winner's circle is number 8, Awful Nice. 3-year-old Bay filly by Log out of Hydropower Q. Owned and trained in Oregonia by Perry Lambert, given a well-judged drive by Bobby Harper. Covering that mile in 1:59 2 to establish a lifetime best. Number 8, Awful Nice, the winner of tonight's 7th race. 30,444 in Tuesday's carryover. 30,444. Post 13 minutes away. There are no changes in the final 3. Here's the field for the 8th with about 7 till post. Series event 14, 6 legs, sponsored by Steeplechase Village Luxury Family Rentals. Number 1 is Gambler's Lair, owned by Chris Fout, brings them out with Jeff Fout. 2, CL Shooter, owned by National Trail Investment with Dan Ader driving 2, CL Scooter. 3, Art Dowling, owned by Mitchell George and Sanford Barron, driver Brad Hanners. 4, Gray and Scarlet, owned by Daryl Sherman. Steve Carter will be aboard. 5, Lifetime Yankee, owned by Brittany Farms with Mike Wilder. 6, Color Me Best, owned by James and Marjorie Hoffler with Eric Ledford. And number 7 is Set the Agenda, owned by Donald Eggers, James Morris, and James E. Morris. David Miller will be in the sulky. Field for the 8th, 6 minutes till post. Field is moving through the clubhouse turn. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Set the Agenda on the far outside, and Color Me Best is going with them. Here comes Art Dowling to join the fray. Gambler's Lair away nicely to 4th, followed by CL Scooter, Gray and Scarlet, and Lifetime Yankee. Seating arrangements are complete. They're on their way to the first 1/8 of a mile in the opening quarter-mile pole. Set the Agenda's got the table set early. Set the Agenda, Color Me Best, and Art Dowling. The 3 favorites are out on top. Moving by the opening quarter in a solid 28 2/5. Racing past the stands to the half-mile pole. Set the Agenda will now try to make every pole a winning one. He's getting geared down in a bit of a breather in quarter number 2 with about 5/8 of a mile to pace. Set the Agenda under confident handling. Color Me Best is stalking second. Art Dowling third. Gambler's Lair to 4th. CL Scooter, Gray and Scarlet the tailgate. Lifetime Yankee at the half-mile pole, 59 4 up the backstretch. Set the Agenda under confident handling leads. Set the Agenda by a length and a half. On his heels in second, Color Me Best. Nearest the rail, Art Dowling third. Gray and Scarlet swings up on the outside. Gambler's Lair underway. Lifetime Yankee and CL Scooter still in no hurry as they try to chase down the even money favorite. Set the Agenda on top. Set the Agenda leads the way. Color Me Best giving the rail in second, moving up on the outside. Gray and Scarlet a closer third. 130 flat. They'll pace the turn and come on home. Set the Agenda brings them to the 7/8. Set the Agenda, Color Me Best. Here's Gambler's Lair closing quickly on the pylons. Gray and Scarlet between horses. Art Dowling is up on the far outside. Deep stretch. Set the Agenda, Color Me Best. Art Dowling third. The try, 42.80, 42.80. The dollar box, $21.40. Post time in 13 minutes at 10:10. Here's the winner. Rapidly improving 2-year-old Bay Colt by Die Laughing out of Glow Softly. It's Set the Agenda. Owned by Donald Ben Eggers, James E. and James Morris, all of Ohio. Trained by Ben Eggers. Driven tonight coast to coast by David Miller. Covering the mile in 157 3. Number 7, Set the Agenda, the winner of tonight's 8th race. Post time is in 13 minutes at 10:10. Here comes the field for tonight's 9th race in a field of 10. Number 1 is Tucson Al, now owned by Rhonda Stidham and Linda May with Rocky Stidham. Number 2 is Sam Sir Knight, leased by Jim Arledge with Del S. Miller. 3, Mr. L, owned by Mark Clark with David Miller. Number 4, Smokey Butler, owned by Jeff and Ethel Dennis, and the rangeman is Darren Mauser. Number 5, Adonijah, owned by Molly Farmer, Joanne Arm, Rooster with Scott Mogan. 6, It's Showtime, owned by Chad Folk, and the driver is Rick Dingledine. Number 7 is Mostly Jazz, owned by Perry Lambert with Bob Harper. 8 is Robo Express, owned by Robert Short and Ron Hughes, and the driver is Mike Wilder. 9, Township Bubba, owned by Thomas and Dan Ryan with Brad Hanners. And number 10, Gotta Go Johnny, owned by Charles Johnson. Bill Long Jr. will be in the sulky. Field for the 9th, 6 minutes till post time. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Adonijah takes the lead at Showtime, middle of the racetrack. Quickly between horses, Sam Sir Knight moving up on the outside. Smokey Butler there down the backstretch. Tucson L gets away fifth. Gotta Go Johnny into sixth. Midway on the turn, Mr. L is seventh. Kicking on, Mostly Jazz. After that, Robo Express and Township Bubba, and they're in full throttle here. Racing by the opening quarter in 27-4, speeding past the stands. Smokey Butler driving up on the outside now gets the lead. Adonijah settles for the duck and tuck, followed by It's Showtime in third. Here's Tucson L sweeping up on the outside. Sam Cernitis now staying in. Underway, Gotta Go Johnny. Around the clubhouse turn comes Mr. L. Trailers from seventh back. Township Bubba along the rail. Driving up on the outside, Mostly Jazz, and the trailer is Robo Express. 57-1. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Smokey Butler on top by 2. Adonijah is in the second. It's Showtime. Here comes Tucson L up on the outside. Mr. L is going to follow him. He's going to shadow him the rest of the way. Racing by 3/4. Smokey Butler. Here's Tucson L with a rush on the outside. Adonijah along the rail. Mr. L picks up the chase. Bobby Harper on the far outside with Mostly Jazz. Wide open in 127. Mr. L on the far outside. Smokey Butler on the rail. Tucson L between horses. Cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Adonijah as the field straightens away. Mr. L on the far outside now gets the lead. Adonijah closing quickly between horses. Smokey Butler and Tucson L. Mr. L under the whip is going to get it. Here comes the unofficial winner 3, Mr. L. 4-year-old bay gelding by Daria 2 out of CL Ravina. Owned and trained in Springfield by Mark Clark. Given a well-judged drive by David Miller to cover the mile here in 157. Number 3, Mr. L. The winner 1, Tucson L. was second. Number 5, Adonijah third, and 4, Smokey Butler was fourth. Result of race 9 now official. Windows are open on tonight's 10th and final race. Filly American Condition claiming Superfecta in a field of 9. And final race, Exactin Superfecta wagering number 1, Red Romaine. Owned by David Knoll, Mike Wilder drives. 2, Colleen's Candy Cam, owned by Robert and Sandra Johnson with Jeff Fout. 3, Luxinja, owned by Jack Swagler and Arthur Apking with Kevin Brown. Number 4, Manhattan Madam, owned by Ray Bout with Darren Mauser aboard. Number 5 is Lady Irish, owned by Johnny and Shirley Stant with Bill Long Jr. 6, Sissy's Girl, owned by Mark McLean Sr. with Brett Merkel. 7 is Humming Strings, owned by John Rogers and Mike Stearns with Rocky Stidamate Attitude, owned by Troy Thomas with Brad Hanners. 9 More Cheers, owned by Richard and Doug Ryan. David Miller will be in the sulky. 6 minutes Superfecta wagering here in race 10. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. More Cheers on the far outside. Here comes Attitude with a rush. Followed by Colleen's Candy Cam, and along the rail, Red Romaine. 4 mares are out for the lead. Followed by Luxinja, Manhattan Madam. On their way to the turn, Lady Irish. Followed by Sissy's Girl and Humming Strings. And seating arrangements are complete. More Cheers quickly grabs the racetrack, opens up 3 lengths. Red Romaine is in the second, 26-4, speeding past the stands. More Cheers whacks this one out. More Cheers on top by 5. Red Romaine cuts her own mile in second, followed by Colleen's Candy Cam in third, who's got to come to the outside. After that comes Long Shot Attitude, gap of 4, Luxinja, Manhattan Madam. Around the clubhouse turn, Lady Irish, Sissy's Girl, and Humming Strings. They're at the half-mile station. More Cheers and Colleen's Candy Cam up on the outside, and Red Romaine doing her best in 56-2. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Colleen's Candy Cam on the outside of More Cheers. Red Romaine is third. Driving up on the outside, Luxinja. Middle racetrack, Manhattan Madam. Here's Humming Strings. In between horses, Lady Irish, Sissy's Girl on the outside. Attitude is stopped to a walk. Racing by 3/4. Colleen's Candy Cam with the lead. Red Romaine is up on the outside. Manhattan Madam, here comes Humming Strings, getting a Stradivarius journey now in 1:27.1. Fanned out 4 wide in the drive. Red Romaine, Manhattan Madam, Colleen's Candy Cam along the rail. Humming Strings is up on the outside. Luxinja looks for racing room. Humming Strings in between horses. Manhattan Madam. Here's Red Romaine fighting back. Red Romaine and Manhattan Madam getting up in the center. In the winner's circle is number 4, Manhattan Madam, a 4-year-old bay mare by Dairy to It of Manhattan Lights, owned in South Charleston by trainer Ray Belt. Hard driven by Darren Mauser, covering the mile in 1:59 and a lifetime best for Manhattan Madam, the winner. 4-1 exacta, 155.60, a super, $16,124. The final pick 3 on 7, 3, and 4, $86.80. Top down, Red Romaine second, Colleen's Candy Cam fourth, Luxinja fifth. Manhattan Madam the winner, Lady Iris sixth, Sissy's Girl was eighth, Humming Strings third, Attitude ninth, More Cheers seventh. 245, 168, 397 the mile, 159. Folks, that'll do it for this evening. On behalf of the staff and management, track announcer Robin Burns, thank you for joining us here this evening. And on your way home, please drive carefully.